Hey everyone, I hope you all are safe and doing good. So, in this lecture, we will see one more control flow statement, that is switch statement. I have told you in previous lecture, basically we have three types of control flow statements: decision making, then we have looping, then jump statement. And first we are discussing decision making statement. And if else if ladder, nested if, and switch. These are decision making statements. Means those are basically variations of if only. So if statements and switch statements, these comes under the category of decision making statement. So if statement we have discussed in previous lecture. Now one is left, that is switch statement. So this thing we will see in this video. What is switch? And see, in Java we have many things about switch, right? It's not just the basic syntax like we have in C and C++, but in Java, like from Java 7, then Java 12, then Java 21, they have added something new in this switch. So all these things we'll be discussing with help of proper example and many coding exercises we will do. But in this video, basically we'll see the basic, what is the basic syntax of switch. Because see, the switch is the fundamental control flow statement, right? And this is there in the Java since Java 1 only, the first version only, right? And in Java 12, actually, they have added something extra in that syntax. Till Java 12, we were using the same, that is the traditional switch syntax. I'll tell you what is that syntax, right? And then how that syntax has been changed in Java 12 and in Java 21. Those things also we will see one by one, right? So this switch is basically, you can say that it's an alternative for else if ladder. In the previous lecture, we have seen if you have to test multiple conditions, like we have seen one example, you have to give grade to a student based on the marks. Marks greater than equal to 90, grade A. Marks 80 to 90, grade B. Else if marks 70 to 80, grade C, something like this. So there we have many conditions. Else if ladder was there. So it is an alternative to those else if ladder statements, right? And see, it is also known as a multi-way branch statement. There are many branches. Like branch means we have a tree and the tree is having many branches. So in this case also we have many cases. Okay. But switch statement we generally use when you have a simple condition to check. Because see, in if we can have many conditions. In if we have like A less than B and B or C or something like this. And many conditions we can check, many variables, many operators we have. So this is type of a complex condition. If you want to check in your program this type of condition, you have many operators and many operands, then you cannot use switch. But if you have only a simple condition, means you have only one variable and just equality operator, in that case it is better to use switch than else if ladder. And why I am saying this, it's better to use switch than else if ladder. This thing you will get when we will be doing a program. We are going to write some programs and compare if and switch. Don't worry, right? But for now, you have to understand it isn't just an alternative of else if ladder. The program you write with else if ladder, the same program you can write with switch, but the condition is condition should be simple. See, it tests a variable against multiple cases. So variable or the operand should be one only and just having one equality sign. That's it. That should be the condition. Then you can use switch statement. Okay. Now it is more efficient. Why more efficient? That also we'll see with practical and then you will get these things better. So rather than wasting time on this theory part, this also you will get once we compare if and once we use some switch statement with the help of program. I'll show you, then you will get this slide better. Why use switch? What are some advantages? Readability, performance, maintainability. But for now, let's just skip this and at last we will see. We will compare with the help of program, don't worry. So right now what I want to tell you is, I need to show you is syntax of switch, because that is important one. Without syntax obviously you cannot write switch in your program. Okay. So all the theory part, advantages, drawbacks, why use switch, comparison of if else, these things you will get when we will see programs. Don't worry. For now, let's concentrate on the syntax of switch. How to write switch statement in your program. So simply for this, we have a switch keyword. So you will write simply switch keyword, and here we write some expression. This expression is basically known as, or you can say, selector expression, right? I'll tell you this about more about this expression as well. Then we have this. This is the switch block. Whatever you write here, this basically is the switch block. Okay. Now within this switch block, we are having many cases. So case is again a keyword. We use keyword, and here we write some value like value 1 or this, and then a colon. And then here we write some code. So here we have this case is a keyword, switch is a keyword, and here we have some expression. Expression can be a simple value, any constant like 1, 2, 3, or name of a variable like x, y, z, or any expression like x plus y, something like this, right? I'll tell you how to write this expression and what data types are allowed for this expression. Then we have case. This is known as the case value or case labels. So I will use this kind of these words, expression, label, many times, right? So when I say expression, then you understand that this I'm talking about this thing. This is the expression. When I say label, case label, so I'm talking about this one. It can be a case label or case value also, right? Value 1. So if this code, whatever code you write in this code block, that to be executed if expression matches value 1, if this expression matches with this value, if both are same, means expression equal to this value, then only whatever you write here, the code, that would be executed. And then we write a break keyword. Break basically means just out of this switch. And if you don't write break, then there would be a fall through mechanism. That also I'll show you. Don't worry. But for now, you have to understand you have to write break here. Then again a case. Then here value 2. Whatever you write here, that would be executed only if this expression is equal to this value 2. Then again break. Like this, you can have many cases, many case value up to case n. Then at last we have default case. Like in else if ladder, at last we write else. It's not compulsory to write else, right? I have told you. Same in this case also, it's not compulsory to write default. But yeah, we write default. It's useful because if none of the case value matches with this expression, then in that case we want that some message should be printed, some invalid choice or this kind of message should be printed. So that thing we will put in this default case. So default, this code to be executed if no case value matches with this expression, right? But in the else if ladder, the condition was you have to write that else at the last only. Else if, else if, else if, and at the last you write else. You cannot write down that else block in between the else if. I hope you remember that point. But this is not the case with this. You can write this default case anywhere. You can write here also at first. You can write in between of these case values, or you can write at the last. It's not compulsory that you have to write this at the last only, right? This makes it different from that else block, right? But this would be executed only if none of the case value matches with this expression. Okay. So when I was talking about the condition, that there should be a simple condition, then only you can use switch, like a single variable and a equality operator. So that condition means I'm checking here. Whatever this expression, maybe it would be a constant value 1, 2, 3 or x. So x is 1 or any choice can be there, right? So it would have some value. This value, this expression equal to this value, whatever the case label. So this complete forms a condition. This is true means this code would be executed. If this is true, if this value equal to this expression, this code would be executed like this. Whatever case value matches with the expression, only that case would be executed. Only the code block of that case would be executed. Right. And I'll show you the internal working also of this switch case statement. We have to discuss many things, but this is the basic syntax of switch that we are following since Java 1. But it has been changed. There are many extension or extra things has been added. The syntax has been changed in Java 12. Okay. So in Java, basically, till Java 11, we were using this. But then in Java 12 and 13, they add the extension as a preview feature. And then in Java 14, they made that thing a standard feature of Java. And that is known as switch expression and arrow labels. Arrow labels. So those things also we'll see, don't worry. But first, let's discuss the basic syntax of switch. Because Java supports backward compatibility. So if you write down your program using this basic syntax that we were following in Java 1 also, then also your program will run. If no matter if you're using a JDK 21 or JDK 23, because Java is having backward compatibility. And still, many companies are still using this syntax only. Their code base is having using this syntax only. They are still using this. Okay. Now first, let's write down program and then you will get it better. How the execution is to be going on. And there are some restrictions. What data type can be there in an expression? What data type can be of this case value? Right? So I'll tell you that thing. This expression can have or be of a data type either byte, short, int, or we can say character or string or enum. Enum type. Enum is a special class in Java. This thing also I'll show you how to use enum. Plus wrapper classes. Wrapper classes of byte, short, int, character. Only these four wrapper classes. Right? So this is allowed, this is allowed, this wrapper classes are allowed. Long is not allowed. Here you can write down a variable of type long, not allowed, it will give error. And it's basically because of the performance reason. Because they have designed this switch to be efficient, and for the data type that comes in 32 bits only, and long is having 64 bit the range, and so it will add some more overhead in the switch. So because of that reason, maybe they have excluded long from this list. You cannot use boolean, you cannot use float and double, because float and double are like fractional part, decimal point. We cannot exactly represent a real number in float or double. There are some approximate values, right? And if you want to check the condition, then exactly this expression should be matched with this value. Then only this code would be executed exactly. So that's why basically float and doubles are not allowed here, right? One more thing is here strings. Basically, uh, before Java 7, strings were not allowed to use in this expression as well as here in the value of the case label. But in Java 7, they added this feature also that we can use string as well, right? Now, in Java 21, they have added some extra feature also. Any object reference also can be used. Any object. Like we have a class and we create object of that class, right? So that object also we can put in this expression. in this switch expression. But this is like more of pattern matching. And this feature pattern matching is added in Java 21 only, right? So this feature we will see later when we will discuss more about classes and objects. Not right now because we haven't discussed more about classes and objects, right? So you will not get if I create class, I use objects, that would be a little bit more complicated type of thing. So this thing we'll see later, but all these things I'll show you. Like if you use long boolean or this, then what type of error you will get. If you use this, how to use these kind of things, right? And same with case value. Whatever you can, the type of the expression, the same type value should be there. Here also we can use like byte, short, int, char, string, enum or wrapper classes, right? But the thing is, this case value should be a constant expression. Constant expression in context of switch basically. So either you cannot use a variable here. Here you can take any variable, but that variable should be of these type. Here you cannot write down any variable. Either you use these 1, 2, 3, 4. Either you can use here string, you can use here character, but not a variable. If you want to use a variable, then that variable should be of that variable is should be constant. How to create constant variable? We have to use final keyword. So if variable is constant, then you can write down here variable, right? I hope you are getting this thing. If you're not getting, then let's just do some practical and we will practically see that how this syntax of switch, or how we can write down a program using switch statement. So let's do these things practically. So see, in that simple if demo, if you remember, we have taken one this example. And here the condition is temperature greater than equal to 45, logical and not logical not in India. Then this is type of a complex condition. So in this case, we cannot use switch. You have to use, if you have to test any complex condition, more than one condition you have to combine, then you have to use if else. Simple condition, if you want to check a simple variable and just equality operator, then you can use switch. In that case, switch would be better to use like this. If you have, see, we have this else if ladder. This is else if, else if, else if, and we have a simple condition. One variable, equality operator equal to 2. Variable 3. Variable equality operator, that's it. So in this case, it would be better to use switch. We can use switch. And why I'm saying this, I'll show you that thing also. But first, let's just create a new file in our first project. Whatever we discuss in lecture, we create our file in this first project, in this project, right? Project name is first project. So let's create a new file, new class, and switch demo. Let's name it switch demo and in main function. So let's just first write down a simple switch statement. And here what I want to do is, according to the number of the days, like if you enter 1, then it should print Monday. If I enter 2, then it should print Tuesday. Then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. According to these numbers, it should print the name of the days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. This is, I think, simple one. You can pause the video and you can try this out with simple if else also. If I write that thing, I'll show you this how to write this with if else. Let's write this first if else. So we will check first, we'll take a variable from user, we will take choice, like enter 1 to 7 number. So we take a, suppose here, choice variable, right? And using scanner class, we take input from user. So we'll take input from user or number from 1 to 7 only. And we check. First, we are doing this with if else, right? So if this choice, choice is equal to 1, then what you need to print? It's Monday. This type of thing we print. So we simply print here Monday. Like this, you have to do. Now, choice is not 1. So else if the choice is 2. choice equal to 2, then what we print? Tuesday. If choice is not between 1 to 7, it will print invalid day choice else block. So this is how, I think that was simple one. You have done this. Using if else we can print. So let's just first select the current file here. This thing you need to remember. Once you write a new program, first make sure you have to select current file, or rather than running from here, first run, right click this and run switch demo.main. Check the name of your file, switch demo, switch demo. So yes, I'm running switch demo.main only, because this kind of mistake many students do. 1 to 7, 1. See, it will print Monday. If I enter any invalid type of thing, suppose I enter here 0, 0, invalid day choice. So I hope you got this. This was simple one. Now let's just make this with switch. How to write switch? Let me show you. Let's just comment out all this if else only. Comment out this. Just select the lines you want to comment out. Press control, hold control and that slash. This is what slash? It's, I guess, forward slash. So this is what if else, using if else, but we will do this with the now switch. So we have, the user has entered a choice. So how to write switch? Simple as switch keyword. Here we write the variable or the expression. Expression is choice. This variable I want to check. This choice variable. This is my condition. So now within this switch, you have to write case. Now case 1, because we have choices from 1 to 7 only. So case value will be 1 to 7. So case 1, if this is true, then here simply print Monday, right? Or rather than a new line, you can write this in the same line only. Now, write like this, you have to write down all the cases from 1 to 7 only. So this is how we can write this with switch statement. So this will also, if you run this, let's just save this and let's run this and let's enter your choice, that is 1. Now see, output should be Monday only, but it is printing all the days till invalid day choice. Let's run this again and I'll show you the again one output. I will enter 5. So now it is printing Friday, Saturday, Sunday and invalid day. When you are entering 5, means 5 means 5 is this value. So it will print Friday, then Saturday, Sunday and invalid day choice. So here the thing is, we have missed a break, right? See, the choice is you have entered 5, right? So here in this expression we have 5. Now this is matched with this case value. This expression choice is now equal to this case value 5, this case label 5. So it will directly execute this case and it will print Friday. Now control will go to the next line. Now if there is no break, then it will not check the next case values and it will directly execute whatever statement it will find till the end of the switch or till it finds a break. So if I write here break statement, semicolon, let's just do some indentation. After case 5 only I'm writing break. So let's run this. And now I'll show you. If you enter 5 in this case, if you enter 5 in this case, only Friday would be printed, because directly it will, this case value has been matched with this expression. This is 5 and this is 5, case value is 5. So directly control will execute this, JVM will execute this line. After this, the next line is break. Break means out of the switch. Out of the switch means out of this switch block. And out of this switch block, we have what? We have only ending curly braces. That's it. So that's why we have to write down break. So this is known as, this mechanism is known as fall through. If you will not write break, then this will continue executing the next case block, next code block, until it finds either a break or end of the switch. So this is, this mechanism, this is known as fall through basically. Any code after the matched case, this is the matched case, this has been matched. Any code after the matched case will be executed until a break statement or end of the switch statement occurs. Right? Don't worry, I have written all these things in my notes. So if somebody asks what is fall through mechanism in this switch case, so you can tell this thing, right? This is basically fall through. So you have to stop this. So that's why we in every case we insert break. And after default, in default case, no need to write break, because after default, obviously it's end of switch. So no need to write. That's why these are some, you can say it's a kind of limitation of this traditional syntax of switch. But the enhanced version of switch, in that case, you don't need to write break. That thing also will show you. But right now we are just discussing the traditional syntax. You have to understand this thing first. Okay, now you got this, why we are using break and why default. Now let me show you. This default you can write down anywhere, Control X, and I want to write down this default after this case 2. It will not give any error. See, no error. Let's run this again. And I'm running this for now, same for number 5, or let's suppose 6. So it will be Saturday. Right. So default you can write down anywhere. But generally, obviously, the thing is you should write down at the last default statement. That would be like recommended. There cannot be more than one default. If you write down 2 default, let's suppose copy paste this, it will give you error. Duplicate default label. So only one default is possible, right? One more point about this is, now these are some important points about switch statement, right? So everything is written in my notes, don't worry. You have to understand. Just focus. One more thing is, now I hope the syntax is clear. Now I have told you the type of thing you can use here in choice. This is what expression. So if I take this choice of type byte, will this give error? Yes, this line will give error basically, because we are here writing the method next int and this is of byte. So provided is int but required type is byte. So here you have to use which method? Byte. You can use it. See, the type of data type of this choice variable is byte. That's fine. It will not give any error. You run this and it will run. No need to worry. 0 means invalid choice. Okay. Byte, short, int, character is allowed. If I take this of type long, I've told you long is not allowed. See the error, the red line. Selector type of long is not supported. This I have told you, this is what a selector expression. More specifically, if I say this, whatever you write in the switch, that is known as a selector expression. According to this expression only, which case to be executed, that would be selected. Right? Okay, long is not allowed. Let's take another case here. I've told you float. So if you take this of type double or float, this will also give you error. See, selector type of double is not supported. See the red line. So without running also, you can see that, yeah, there is some error. Double is not allowed. Float, double, boolean, not allowed. Right? Okay, fine. Now, let's see. I told you those wrapper classes are allowed or strings are allowed. So, if rather than int, I take this string, and before Java 7, string were not allowed here, right? In Java 7 they have added this option. String choice. So, choice is equal to, okay, next byte we cannot use. Here you have to use either next or next line. So, let's use only next line. That's it. See, there's no error here. But the thing is, now 1, 2, 3. Here you are getting error. See, there's a red line below this 1, below this 2, below this 3. These case values or case labels are integer, but this expression is of type string. So this you need to remember. The case label and the expression should be of same type. If this expression, selector expression is type string, so here values should be of type string only. Let's run this and I'll show you error you are getting here is, see, int cannot be converted to java.lang.string in line number 10. So this is the first case. This is int. It cannot be converted to this. There are so many errors in different cases. So here also we can use string also. So let's take here. Suppose I'm taking here Monday or here Tuesday like this. I'm just commenting out the remaining thing because I just want to show you this thing that strings are allowed. The case labels can be string, right? This expression can be string. So let's run this and I'll show you the output. Enter a number from 1 to 7. Now we cannot enter a number. Suppose if you I enters 1, then invalidate day choice. Because obviously it will consider that as string 1. So here case label, is there any 1? No. If rather than Monday, if I write here 1. Now 1, see, you don't get confused that 1 is integer. So this is integer. No. 1 you are writing in double quotes. So if you are writing anything in double quotes, that would be considered as a string only. Now, so here 1 is as a string. Let's run this and now if you enter 1, let's enter 1 here and it will print Monday. Right? So 1 is a string. So strings are also allowed. From Java 7 onwards, strings are allowed in this case values or case labels. So in this case labels, we cannot have variable. Okay, let's take that thing also. Now just revert it back. We are taking not string, we are taking only int here. And here also you have to take, if you have converted this into int, so next int, right? So see, at first let's look at this code first and then look at this code. Which one is more readable? I think this one is more readable because here you don't have to write again and again this condition. Choice equal to 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. You just written here a simple integer 1, 2, 3, 4. So if this kind of thing is there, we have an only single variable and equality operator. So that's why I have there is in that PPT we have a slide why use switch means readability. It will increase the readability of the code. Obviously, this is more readable than this else if. This is a little bit more complex type of thing, right? You have to write again and again the same thing, but here no need to write. Just put choice here and all the labels here 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fine. Now what I want to show is here we can do one thing also, like if I write +1, that's fine. Don't think that here you have to write down only single variable. No, this is what expression I have told you. Expression can be that combination of operators and operands. So, but type, data type, what are data type allowed, that I have shown you. Other than that, long, double, float, bool, these are not allowed, right? Char +1, sorry, choice +1, this is also allowed. So let's run this and I'll show you. what output you will get here. And let's suppose we enter a number 1. Now at 1, it will give you Tuesday because choice is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. So working of switch is what? First, this expression would be evaluated. Here 1 plus 1, it becomes, in this case, 2. At once only. This will be evaluated only once at starting. Then whatever the value it will give, that would be checked with the cases. And according to this 2, this is the matched case 2. So this will be executed. Directly control will execute now this case only. Okay. Now this is kind of expression you can write down here. Like suppose if you have int x, y. So here you can write x plus y, x into y, these kind of thing. But not something like other than the data type which are allowed. So this is the expression. So I hope you got this. Now in this case, if I write 1 plus 1, okay, first let me show you this thing. Duplicate case values are not allowed. If here same I write 2, see 2 and 2, duplicate label 2. So duplicate case values are not allowed, right? These are some important points you need to remember when you're writing switch. See duplicate case label. So let's make it 1 again. But I have told you this case label can be constant expression. So constant expression means I can write something like this plus suppose 9. If I write plus 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. So this would be duplicate case. So that's why it will give you error. Duplicate label 2. Let's make it 1 plus suppose 9. So it will be 10 now. 1 plus 9 is 10. This is allowed. This is constant expression. Right? The thing is, these values, case values, must be known at the compile time only. These are simple fixed values. These are known at compile time only. We cannot use here a variable. Suppose 1 plus 9 is 10 and at 10 we have Monday. So if I run this, let's run this and enter your choice. Suppose 10. It will give you Monday. Because now 9 plus 1 is 10. So it will match with this case and it will print Monday. But here variable is not allowed. If you think, let's take a variable int a is equal to 1. Now, obviously a is 1. So rather than 1, I can write a. This is not allowed. See, constant expression required. This a is a variable. Variables are not allowed because variables will be evaluated at runtime, will be assigned at runtime, not at compile time. That's why. Okay, so variables are not allowed. But one thing, if this is a constant variable, how to make this variable a constant variable? Just put here final keyword as a prefix. So now this variable is constant. Constant means this value cannot be changed. So at compile time only, the value would be like assigned. We know the value of a at compile time only. This value because cannot be changed. It's final. It's constant. Now see, there is no red line. Now this is fine. If you run this and if I enter my choice 1, so let's see what happened. 1, it will print Monday. Because 1, choice is 1, a value is 1. So at compile time only, it will replace this a by 1. And this 1 is matched and it will print Monday. So this variable is not allowed, but constant variable is allowed. But one more thing I want to show you here is if I write something like this, just declare this and a is equal to 1. If I do this thing, then see, at this point of time, this a is not considered as a final or a constant variable. See, now you are getting an error, right? Constant expression required. See the red line here. If you run this, you will get an error. Now, maybe you are thinking, see, constant expression required at line number 12. Line number 12. Maybe you are thinking this a is constant and we have assigned we have assigned a value in a separate line. Then It shouldn't give any error. But no, this time this variable should not be considered as a constant variable. If you want a variable to be considered as constant, that you have to initialize the variable when you declare it in the same line. Then only it will be considered as constant. I hope you got this point also. Right? These are main, these points are tricky points. Using these points only interviewer asks questions. They just want to check your basic knowledge but in depth. Have you experimented with this switch expression or not? Because general syntax everybody knows, but nobody knows these little things. That's why I'm explaining this with the help of an example. So one more thing I want to show you now. Variables are done, constants are done. Here either you can use here literal, strings are allowed, string is a literal, string literal, or some constant expression. That's it, nothing else. Characters are also allowed. Here we can write down characters as well. For a character, let's take one thing. Let's comment out this and let's make this char of type char. Now you cannot write down here next int. See, there is no next char. One question, one was asking this question next. Character is not any method. So to take input as a character, this is for string. One was asking this question also in the live class. So the answer is next is for string, but you have to use like next, then we have char at. So next, this is a complete like a string, and then we have a function, we have a method char at zeroth index. So this is how we can take input, character input using scanner class. There is no direct next character type of method. You have to use this thing. Next is for string, but char at is a method that we can take whatever is there at zeroth index, that character. So choice is now of character type. Okay. Now here we have a, so let's just remove this, and here we are writing only 1, 2, 3, 4 case labels only. Let's run this and see what output we are getting here. See, we are not getting here, it's not char, it's only int, but you are not getting any error here. Let's run this and I'll show you. If I print here 1, it will print, see, invalid day choice, because one is what, here one is what a character, and this one is what, sorry, this one is what integer. So they are not matching. If I put this something like this, let's run this now. But let me show you the output. If I enter 1, then Monday. Now one is considered as character. One is character, but this one is now character because I have put this in single quote. So it is character. But this is what int. It will not give you any error. Why so? Because characters are stored as unsigned integer only in internally. That's why it is not giving you any error. Okay. So specifically you have to specify that this 1, 2, these are characters, not numbers. Then only if I enter 1, that is a character, and 1 is a character here, so it will match with this. Rather than 1, 2, 3, you can write down ABC also. If you enter A, then Monday, or if you enter like capital M, then it should print Monday. So let's run this and I'll show you. If you enter here capital M, then only it will print Monday. If I enter here small m, it will print invalid day choice. Because obviously case sensitive. M, capital M, small m is different. Okay. So like this, you can print here M, T, W, then TH. So TH is not a character. TH means two characters are there. So character means only single character can be there. So here you can write down something else. Then F, then S or something here like maybe T for Sunday. So I just want to show you. Here you can write down, you can put character also. This expression can be of character type. See, this is character type, and this is how you can take input as a single character from user using scanner class, using char method, char at. Right. So I hope this is also clear to you. Now let's just make it again 1, 2, 3, 4. Any character you can take input, but whatever you take input, that should exactly match with these case values exactly. Either it's a space or at the rate or percentage or ampersand or asterisk or any character that should match with this. Suppose let's take this one character. I'm taking this bracket, this value. Let's run this, and I will enter this value, this only. So let's enter this. Say it will print Monday. Character is this. That's opening bracket, and it is going to match with this case, and it will print Monday only, right? So any character you can write, but in single quote only. Now, one more thing I want to show you, what the readability I have shown you. See, obviously this is more readable than this. Again and again, you have to write your condition. Second thing is one more why we use switches, because it is more efficient. The switch has been designed to be more efficient than else if. In else if you run this, let's just comment out our switch case, right? And let's just uncomment this if, else if. So we have commented out this, and we are taking input from scanner, and after that, sorry, we are not taking here char choice. Let's make it int again, and let's remove it, and let's take here next int only, right? Now 1 to 7 number, and else if we are taking, if else. So if you run this, then how internally the working is to be done, this you need to understand, just concentrate here. If the choices I have entered choice is 6, then first control will go here, check this condition, it is false. Then control will check this condition, then this condition, then this condition, then this, then this. If suppose the choice is 6, then this condition is true, then it will be executed, Saturday would be printed, and then out of this else if, complete else if ladder, right? So till it finds a true condition, it will check all the previous condition. Yeah. So in the worst case, suppose my choices, suppose I enter 9 out of these. So all the conditions would be checked here one by one, and then it will go to else and print. Means how many comparisons are there? How many comparisons of this choice with this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 7, 8. Right? So that's why we say that here the complexity is basically order of n in worst case. Means whatever the value of n means how many comparisons are there. Okay. So almost equal comparisons are there, whatever the value of n. If you're not getting order of n, what is order of n? Don't worry. The time complexity type of thing we will discuss when we'll discuss DSA. Don't worry. But if you are not making, if you're not getting this technical terms, time complexity, order of n, then leave it. You just have to focus this thing. If I enter 9, all these conditions will be checked, and then else block. Okay. If you want to see, maybe you are thinking that, ma'am, you are saying that this is the working, but show us how internally this is working. Okay, so we have a method, we can debug this program. So let's just add a breakpoint first here. First program will stop here, or here first it will ask enter a number from user, it will stop here. Then we will run this one by one. Add a breakpoint here. On every condition, let's add a breakpoint so that we will get to know when this condition will be checked or not at every log. Let's debug this. How to debug? After adding these breakpoints, right click, debug switch demo.main, debug, not run, debug. Line by line, it will debug. So, see now, on console, there is nothing. Nothing has been printed. In threads, main thread is running. See, main thread is running, right? And right now, control is here because first breakpoint is here. So, if you run this, then on console, it will print. See, how to run again? Step over, step over, The control is now here, so it will print this line. Enter a number from 1 to 7. Let me just enter here 9. Enter, press enter. Now I want to run this again. Let's step over. So let's see where this control will go. Step over. Control is now at this first condition. See the blue line, the control. Choice is 9 and this condition is false, as you can see. Let's step over. Next condition would be checked. Choice is 9. This is false. Step over. Next condition. Step over. Control will here in the next condition will be checked. Step over. Next condition would be checked. Then next. Then next. This is false. Then next. And now else. Yeah. Every condition is false. So simply this would be printed. But let's step over and see the invalid day choice. Step over and disconnect it from the targeted VM. And that's it. What is the socket? This also we'll see later. Don't worry. So this is how internally the if else is working, right? Every condition would be checked, right? If you suppose in the best case the choice is 1, so it will check the first condition and this is true, so it will not check further condition and out. So this is the best case. The worst case is all the condition would be checked, this thing I have shown you, and it will just go to the else. Okay. Now let's just comment out our if else and let me show you the working of internal working of switch. Then you will get why I am saying that switch is more efficient to use. Let us comment out all these things and uncomment our switch block. Fine. Same, let's add some breakpoints here. In every case, I want to add breakpoint so that nothing would be skipped at every default everything. Now let's just right click here and debug. And here also same. See on the console, control is here now, but this line has not been executed. When you click step over, then this line has been executed now and it will show you enter number from 1 to 7. Let's enter 9, same. Enter. Step next. What do you think? Where the control will go? Now control here at this line, choice equal to this. Here. Step over. See, choice is 9. Now at this line, switch choice. This is selector expression and choice is 9 at this time point because I have entered 9. What do you think? Will the control will go to the first case and match this value with choice? It is not matched, then go to case second, then third, then four, then five, six, seven, something like, and then by default, then no case is matched, then default would be printed. Maybe you are thinking this kind of working would be done here, but no. Let me show you. If I run, if I click step over, then directly control will go to default. See, once I click, control is here now. Let me show you. Control is here. Let's just press step over and see, control is directly to the default. It haven't checked any of the case. Directly default and just run and it will print invalid day choice and that's it. So that's why I am saying that it is more efficient. Because here in a constant time, the time is order of 1 only. It hasn't wasted any time in comparing all the cases. Directly go to in which the case, the matched case. That's it. And this is because of the modern compilers. They do this kind of optimization automatically. Those just in time compiler, right? With the help of, there are some concept of jump tables. The compiler creates some jump table and according to that there will be having some index and case values and all. Directly this control will switch to the matched case. So that's why this is known as having a time complexity order of 1 only. See how efficient is this rather than if else. It will check all the conditions and here it will not check all the cases. Only the directly it will execute the matched case. So that's why I'm saying it is more efficient. Switch is designed to be more efficient than else if. Okay. If I run this again for 4, okay, don't run this, or let's just debug this because we have to debug to show this. If I debug this and on console, let's just step over and 5, or let's suppose 4, enter. If I click step over, then choice is 4. So directly it will switch to the case 4. See, Thursday will be printed if you step over. That's it. So that's why we are saying these are more efficient. The code is more readable if you use switch. The code is more compact, more concise, and it's easy to remove any case and add any case. So the maintainability of the program would be more maintainable if you use switch rather than if else. Okay. What points are left now? Okay, now I told you if you don't write break here, then it will have a fall through mechanism. But sometimes intentionally we want to execute more than one case for a single value. In that case, it is possible. Is it possible here? Yes, it is possible. Like, for example, we have if I enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it should print weekday. If I enter 6 and 7, it should print weekend. So let's modify this. Pause the video, you can try this out. For the cases 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the 5 cases, it should print here weekend rather than the name of the days. For 6, 7, both these it should print weekend. Otherwise, invalid day choice. Pause the video and try this out. So I hope you have done this. It's very simple. We can write down something like this also. In the same line, case 1, colon, nothing else. You have to write case 2, 3, 4, 5. Then simply one line weekday for 6 and 7, weekend, and default invalid day choice. Let's run this and I'll show you. If you enter the choice here, suppose 5. Okay, now the one problem here is I think you have noticed it will print weekday as well as weekend as well as invalid day choice because we forgot to add here break. So this is a limitation in this traditional syntax of switch. You have to take care of this thing. You have to put a break statement, otherwise fall through mechanism would be there, right? If I enter 1 weekday, let's run this. If I enter here 5 weekday, for 1 to 5 it will print weekday, and for 6 weekend, and for 7 also weekend, right? So this is also possible. More than one cases can have a simple thing, simple, or some calculation can be there here. We are here simply printing one line only, but here we can do some calculation, addition, multiplication, or some kind of calculation also we can do within that particular case. The case block can have multiple statements also. It's not like that you can have only one statement and one break and one this in this case block. No, you can have many statements here, right? And one more thing, after break, if you write down any line, suppose I want to print high, this will give error. After break, you cannot write down anything. See, this is unreachable statement. If you run this, so it will give you the same error. Unreachable statement in line number 14. In line number 14, this is. So you cannot write anything after this break. So and so one thing is left. Have to use two things. Have to use enum type in this for this expression, and have to use those wrapper classes. So let's use wrapper classes first. So we will take, rather than this int choice, let's take a wrapper class of integer types. Integer, it is a class, so we obviously you have to create an object of this class. So let's create here a variable wrapper integer type or wrapper int type. This is the name of this variable or this object basically. How we are going to assign the value to it? Same, the name of the class dot we have a method value of. So value of choice. Value of choice. Whatever the value of this choice variable you will enter. This is of int type. Okay. Now it will wrap the value to this wrapper class, integer wrapper class, and it will become a more of object type. And the value would be now in wrapper int type. So here rather than choice, we can use here the variable wrapper int type. So the type of this variable is this wrapper class integer type. So that's why I'm saying that expression can be of type any, can be of any wrapper class type also. We have wrapped up this value. These are also known as wrapper class, are also known as boxed primitives. So these are primitives only. See, int is primitive only, but we have put this into a box or it's like a wrapper. These are boxed primitive. So when we use this wrapper in type here, then at this point of time, it will do unboxing. And whenever it will do unboxing or it will remove the wrapper, then it will see that the value is of type int only, and int is allowed. We know int is allowed here. So that's why we will not give any error. Let's run this and see this thing also. Let's enter here only 3. Weekday would be printed, right? So here integer, byte, short, character. These 4 wrapper class are allowed. Fine. If I write here, suppose character rather than here, so name is what? Character. Character dot value of choice. Now see, choice is of type int, but it is of character. So this should be a character, char type. Now same you have to take here, not next int, have to take a character. Next int dot we have a method char at 0. Now it will not give any error. Now the choice is of character type. Now we have wrapped this into a wrapper class character, and this will become a wrapper class type. So it will basically becomes an object of this wrapper class character. So somewhere, I've told you there are some hash tables and hash map also we'll discuss later. There we can only store objects. We cannot store primitive. So if you want to store these integer and character, these are primitive. So you have to convert these into object with the wrapper class, and then only we can store into those data structures. So their wrapper class would be required. Here maybe you are thinking that it's of no use, right? Yeah, it's correct. It's of no use here. But somewhere later in this course, we will discuss that how useful these wrapper classes are. It is just to show you if you want to use any wrapper class type also, this is how you can use. Okay. Next thing I want to show you how to use those enum types. So enum is basically a special class in Java. Like we have any class, we create class student. So for that we create object. So like this also we have an enum class. For that we create an object. So let me show you with example how to use enum also. Let's just comment out this code as well. So how to use enum? The syntax is, there is this enum. You have to write down this type name enum. Then any name you can take. Suppose day we take. Name is day. And in these curly brackets, the values. So I'm writing here. So this enum is basically a special class in Java that represents a group of predefined constants. So these are known as enum constant. There are 7 enum constant here. Like we have int. So for int or for this char, we have a range 0 to 65535, I guess. For byte, we have a range -28 to 127. Anything we can take. So same, we can create our own type, but here it is having a predefined set. This out of, we can take only these 7 values. Other than this, no values are allowed. So these are known as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. These are known as enum constant. And this day is known as is a class of type enum. Now day is basically we have created a class of type enum. This is a special class in Java. How to use this? Uh, so this is a class day. I have told you that we have created a class. So we create an object of this class. Suppose day with small d. With small d. See the difference. Equal to, how to assign the value? Just the name of this class dot. I'm taking, see, any value you can take from these 7 also. So let's take Friday, semicolon. And in switch now, I can use this day, this variable. This is obviously a variable. I mean, you can say more of object, because this is, I'm saying, a class. When the program will be run, then this enum would be considered as a regular class. This day would be considered as a regular class of type enum, and this day, small dy, is an object of this class. So we take this name here, object here, and this is of type enum, right? So enum types are also allowed in this expression. So how to write down now the case? Case values should be of the type same as expression. Now expression is of type enum. So case value should be of type enum, right? And in enum we have, these are enum constant. So these enum constant we can write down here. So like this we can write case. See, the case value is, it's not a string, because we are not putting any double quotes. It's not int, it's not character. It is enum constant. These are known as enum constants. These 7. So enum constants are allowed. See, these are enum constants. So enum constants are allowed. These are constants only. I have told you. This case value, case label can be constant expressions. So these are enum constant, right? The value I have taken is Friday. So if you run this, we generally don't use enum. So it will print weekday, because Friday. See, in day I have initialized this with Friday. So in day we have Friday. So this case would be matched Friday. So it will, if you change this value, if I write here like Monday, so this is also fine. Now it will print only this. See, switch label Monday is the only reachable in the whole switch. So this would be reachable. All others would not be reachable, right? But the thing is, if you write down here this kind of thing, Monday, but small m, see the error, cannot resolve symbol Monday, because you have to write down here, you can take only from these predefined values. These are 7 values. You can take from these values only. If you want to use enum, then we define some set of constant, and from those set of constants only we can take the values. So m is here small, here is capital, so it makes the difference, because it is case sensitive. Java is case sensitive. So Monday, right? This will not give any error now. So this is how we can use enum. We generally don't use these enum constants, don't worry. But I have shown you this thing because enums are allowed here in the expression and the case level. That's why I have shown you this is how you can use enum. Rather than this, now you can try out or different example of in enum data types of enum kind of thing. I have taken here like the days, or you can take here month in a year. According to that, you can print something, or some values also, 1, 2, 3, 4, or any values according to that you can write down here. Those are also considered as enum constant. Okay. And one more thing I want to show you here is, let's just comment out all the enums, and let's here uncomment our switch, this switch. So here we are using wrapper class. So let's just comment out wrapper class as well. And I'm taking simply int. Let's get back to int, or let's take byte. Byte choice, and choice is equal to this. Rather than this, the method should be next byte to take the input. So this variable also you have to change, that is now choice. Now one thing I want to show you, the range of this case values should be within the range of the data type of this expression. Expression type, data type is byte. So if I write here the case 129, see the red line. You have given int and required is byte, because 129 is out of the range. The range of byte is minus 128 to 127. So this label, this value should be in the range of the data type you are using. This is one more thing you need to take care. So I hope now you got everything about switch statement or switch case. Now if you go through this PPT, now you will get everything, whatever is there in the PPT. The purpose is it will simplify the code by providing an effective way to execute different code blocks based on condition. There are many code blocks, but based on the condition we have to select only one. In that case, we use switch. So it's many scenarios. It's more efficient than if else. This thing I have shown you why we are saying it is more efficient. So why, if anybody asks why we use switch or what are some advantages of using switch, you can say this thing. It will increase the readability of the code. We have seen this thing. Performance will also be increased. The time would be a constant time, order of n. Directly the matched case would be evaluated. And see, it's not guaranteed basically that that case would be switched, and no linear comparison would be there, like first case 1, then case 2, then case 3, until a match case would be found. Maybe sometimes this linear kind of thing will be there, but modern compiler basically optimize the code, and they use jump tables, and directly they jump to the matched case in most of the scenarios. But sometimes maybe if in the case values there is a gap, one case value is 1, one is maybe 1000 or 5000 or something else, some other kind of thing. In some cases maybe it will check all the cases, but it depends on compiler. But in most of the cases you think you say that you can say that you will find that this would be order of 1 only, the time complexity. In a constant time only, it will directly execute that matched case. It will not compare all the cases, right? But generally if you find on the in the website or on any net, if you will search, then you find that the working of switches, compare with case 1, evaluate the expression first, then compare with case 1, then case 2, then case 3, until the match is found, then something like this. So in general we can say, like obviously this is the working, but the optimization is internal kind of thing. It's just because of the compiler, because the compiler automatically optimize the code, something like this. But in general, if we say, if you draw the flowchart, then you can draw the flowchart something like this. The first condition, that would be either true or false. If false, then second condition would be checked. Second case would be checked. Case condition, like this. You can draw that flowchart. So definitely the performance would be increased. Performance will be more. Maintainability would be more. We can remove or add cases. It would be easier with switch rather than if else. So maintainability would be more. Switch versus if else, we have already compared this thing with the help of program, right? It will test a single variable against multiple constant values. Variable is single, but it will compare the case values are different, and these are constant values. So more efficient for multiple conditions. It can test multiple variables and use complex conditions. So if you want to use complex condition, or within the same condition if you want to use more than one variable, go for if else. If you want to use long, go for if else, because long is not allowed in switch, right? So use switch for single variable and multiple constant comparison. Use if else for complex conditions. Okay, this is basic comparison. Syntax also we have told you. This is about that select the expression. These things I have told you. Everything, whatever is written there, I have told you everything with the help of proper example. About case label also, I have told you fall through mechanism. This case label should be unique. Constant values are allowed. How execution is to be done. This we have discussed. There are some rules. What data types are allowed for writing switch, case values, duplicate cases are allowed or not, what is default case. This thing we have discussed. How to use enum type, I have shown you, right? These are some important point to remember. Always use break. If you don't use break, fall through mechanism would be there. Default case include constant expression. Case label should be constant expression. And yeah, one is scope. Scope of the variable means where you can use that variable basically. So that thing also we'll discuss later. But scope means variables declared in a case block are accessible throughout the entire switch block. If we have multiple cases and suppose case 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 cases are there. Case 1 until case 5. And in case 1, suppose I have taken a variable int a. So this is accessible not within this case 1 but in the entire switch in all the cases. So this is what this line wants to say, the scope of the variable. Generally, the scope is means what? Let's take a method here, and if you declare any variable int ab, so these variables are accessible within this method only, not outside of this method. If you want to access, it will give error, right? But here it's not the case that if in case 1 you declare a variable, it is only accessible within this case 1 only, not case 2, not case 3. No, it is accessible throughout this entire switch block in all the cases, right? This is a new point. Fine. Now, these are some basic exercises you need to do. This whole, I think we have done. Write a switch statement that prints the name of the day given a number 1 to 7. We have done this, but still you don't go to that solution. Again, you can try out this, right? Or you can try out this one. Create a switch that prints the name of a month given its number 1 to 12. This you will do. This you can do because these both are same. So you can try out this. Use a switch to assign letter grades based on numeric score. This is, I think, a little bit tricky for you, but try out this because in the next video we'll see some coding exercises for switch. In that case, we will discuss this. But still, first you try out this. Grade means one. We have done this exercise before. Grade A, B, C, D, E, and F using else if. So same exercise you have to do, but using switch. This you need to do. This is your assignment, right? So now, I think that's it for this video. Now, let me just show you one thing more. In the previous lecture, we have seen one project, that coffee ordering system. Let's modify that with switch rather than else if. Let's do this. So let's open our project. No, it's not. It was not in project, I guess. Sorry, it was in project only. So let's open the new window, and this is the coffee ordering system. This thing we have done. Now, rather than this if else, see, we have else if, else if, else. So you have to, rather than else if, you have to, make this switch. You have to do this with switch. Next thing, one more thing you have to add. Now, here we have 1 for vanilla, 2 for hazelnut. If anyone enter other than 1 or 2, then it should print invalid flavor choice. Invalid flavor choice. And if this, else if this, else any other, then it will print invalid flavor choice. So there also you have to implement this with switch, and here also switch. So let's now pause the video right now and try this out. So I hope you have done this. It was simple one. Rather than if else, we have just written here switch. Here we have a choice variable, choice, case 1, 2, 3, because choice can be either 1, 2, or 3. So according to that, bill is 200, then 250, then 300, and break, break, break. You have to add break, break, break. And default, invalid coffee choice. So this one is done. Now next you have to update this. So let's just comment out this if else also. And after this, switch expression is based on which variable we have to check flavor choice. So flavor choice is either 1 or 2. So same case 1 can be you have to use you have to update bill equal to bill plus equal to 20 and then break. For case 2 means hazelnut. So update the bill, add 25 rupees, semicolon and break. And then one is default. In default, we simply print invalid flavor choice. That's it. We have this was if else, and we have done this with switch. So this is, I guess, more readable and more compact and more concise code rather than writing the condition again and again. This is better. So let's run this and see you're getting exactly the same output or not. So first it will ask same enter your choice, that is 1. I want espresso, whipped cream. Oh, yes, I want. Flavor shot. Yes, I want. Which one? I have entered suppose here 6, not 1 or 2. So it will give me a message first invalid flavor choice and the total bill is 230 only. 200 for espresso, 30 for the cream. Just 230 rupees. So it's working fine. So it's very simple, I guess. So now you have to do all the exercises, 2 or 3 exercises. So that's it for this lecture. Try out these exercises, whatever is there. But it's we are not done with switch. There are many more things we have to discuss with switch. The extension that they have added in Java 14 and Java 21, arrow labels, switch expression, right? So those things we will discuss in next lecture. So now I'll see you in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye. Take care.